Okay, I got it. So I'm retarded, right? I'm not functioning well because I'm just not realizing I gotta put the auto start on myself. I'm like, damn, why YouTube don't be starting my videos when I tell them to, but it's a little bit different. The setup is a little different on YouTube. So yeah, I've been tripping on YouTube and it's all my fault. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm sorry, YouTube. Damn, who's blowing me? Oh my god. Yeah, man, this shit crazy. But yeah, so we gonna get this thing started. We got a good one today. Yeah. How y'all feeling? Everybody feeling good? Hopefully. It's a good, nice day outside. The first, for a lot of kids, it's the first, I guess you could say it's finna be the first weekend since they've been back to school. So you know that always got a feel to it. Everybody got to go to their new classes and all that. Everybody wore their new shoes, all that stuff. You got to put your first week down and shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I know it's a good feeling. You know, shout out to all the back to school kids out there. And if you in school, stay in school. And if you drop your ass out of school, go back to school. Because education, reading is fundamental. Education varies depending on what you are trying to accomplish. But reading, goddamn it, you're gonna need to do that everywhere you go. So on that note, yeah, let's get this thing started. If I pull up in a new whip, will she go with a pocket full of blue strips? I don't know why I gotta keep a new bitch. Just to show that a nigga on some Mac shit. These other niggas ass backwards. The fit from a casket. The money I amassed it. My bitch ass titties hips real no plastic. Bank account full of paper I could go plastic. Niggas never measure up when they get drastic. Bougie ass bitch but she suck dick. Ratchet turned up energy I match it. I ain't SpongeBob I'm a star like Patrick. Get a little money I'ma stretch it like elastic. Game ice cold still froze like Alaska. Corny ass nigga must hoop for Nebraska. Brand new bitch, I don't love her. I'm actor. Treat another nigga game like a non-factor. I live by the code just to capture the bots and the actors. I knock a thought twat to the rafters. And if I gotta talk to her after, then it's only one thing that I'ma ask her. If I put up in the new whip, would she go with a pocket full of blue strip? I don't know why I gotta keep a new bitch. Just to show that a nigga on some Mac shit, these other niggas ass backwards, the fit from a casket, the money I amassed it, my bitch ass titties hips real no plastic, bank account full of paper I can go plastic, niggas never measure up when they get drastic. What's up everybody? Yeah. What's going on with y'all people, man? A little bit of original music that I started out with today. I wanted to start out this first one. I called this first one, I always abbreviate my topics, right? So I always abbreviate my topics. My first topic for today was called Me versus Me. And the thing about it is what I wanted to discuss was a lot of people know me, know my background from doing music and stuff like that. I always did music. I had one of my friends comment the other day that she remembered when we used to be in the back of Spanish class. I used to have my beat machine back there. I ain't care about goddamn Spanish. I knew uno, dos, tres up to like catorce or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And after that shit, it was a wrap. So for me, my whole thing was I always knew I wanted to make music. When I was young, we was in elementary school. Everybody knew me from being a person. Y'all remember cassette tapes? I used to have like every tape that came out. I used to, when we had a party or something, get together back in the days, I would be the one to bring all my whole box full of tapes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I had like 3 boxes full. You know what I mean? Just always immersing myself in music. I always did art, shit like that. You know what I mean? So primarily the music is what I started out doing. I always mixed, mastered, like rap and shit like that, made beats once I got some equipment and everything like that. Just trying to cultivate, trying to create that. You get that creative bug. Anybody that does any type of music or anything along that line, you know what I mean? It's just that's really what you do it primarily for. I mean, everybody think at some point like, hell yeah, I want to make some money off of this shit. But when you first start out doing it, you don't do it like, man, I'm finna do this because man, I need a job. Let me start tap dancing. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that don't be your motivation. Your motivation come from here. It's your creativity. So me versus me. What I mean by that is how I got into videography from music. And I feel like why I named it me versus me is because it's like one side of me and one thing I want to do versus another side of me and where I see everything is headed, right? So if you look at the climate of everything right now, including music, including it don't matter what it is, anything entertainment, right? Basically it's like a lot of things are heading towards your audience being able to connect with you on a deeper level, you know what I mean, rather than just whatever the thing is that you selling. The whatever it is you selling, it don't matter if it's music, it don't matter if it's clothing, whatever. People want to feel like they connecting with you as a person first off. So that's a big part of marketing and branding in the modern day, is making sure that you reach out to people beyond just whatever the thing is that you doing or what you selling or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, think about it like the end product is what you giving them, but everything else up to the end product is, y'all been to IKEA before. It's like that you walk through and shit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta walk motherfuckers through what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? That's how I go. So long story short, I was doing music and everything like that, and I started to notice as social media started to emerge, you had people like breaking into music, coming over from social media and different shit like that. So it was looking like, having just songs that you making and everything like that. Even limited it to words like I got songs and I'm putting out videos. Like, I got a song, I got a video, I got a song, I got a video. Man, everybody got a fucking video and anybody could make a fucking song or they could just lip sync some shit. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't no big deal like that like it used to be. So now you got to think about yourself more as I hate to say it like cliche like that, but not so much like a brand. Because when you think of yourself as a brand, you start to think of like sales coming first and foremost. You got to think of yourself more like a overall, like you want people to experience what you experience and shit. Like, they want to know what go into your music, what go into your clothing. When they feel like they connect with you more as a person, then whatever they getting out of you, they feel like it's more of an experience. So me versus me was like saying, okay, I'm doing music and I've been doing music and I'm getting older. I'm getting to the point where I'm getting enough money now. I mean, we in Milwaukee, so it ain't like, you know what I'm saying, the motherfucker just finna walk out here and run into P. Diddy or something. So what you gotta do is you gotta kind of grind out, you gotta get creative. And we getting, as things start to get more with the social media and connected with the internet and everything like that, it allows you to really use your brain more if you're a creative person to try to reach more people and get more shit done. You don't got to be at the gas station selling CDs no more, but that go for you and that go for everybody else. So everybody gonna be trying to break in to putting their music online. That created the emergence of things like SoundCloud and stuff like that, where a lot of rappers blew up off of. You know what I mean? And artists in general, not just rappers, but artists in general. But what you got now for the most part is where you just gotta have more to offer and shit. So I knew that I had to make a transition, and it was me versus me. It's what I want to do versus what I need to do and what I know is gonna help me advance. And basically what that is was learning videography, learning editing, just learning how to do the small things that will allow me to present stuff directly whenever I want to. Like, even for me now, I feel like it's a blessing to be able to hop on and talk to people and get some response and shit like that. And like right away I could do it. I know how to do all the different tickers and different type of stuff like that. I'm real good at that. And soon after, let's say about I'll say starting maybe in like September or like the end of September, we'll say, I'm gonna start dropping more videos that's edited. So it ain't just gonna be me going live talking to y'all. I like talking to y'all like this, don't get me wrong, it's all good. But I'm gonna start dropping more edited videos though, so I could do a little bit more, show a little bit more, be a little bit more visually creative with it. You know what I mean? So that's what we doing, man. Me versus me. It's like that go for everybody. Everybody might be get to that point at some point where they might have had their heart set on doing something a certain way, or they had a goal they wanted to pursue, and you were set on pursuing that goal in a certain manner, but the whole industry of what you're doing could change around. You know what I mean? So you gotta be adaptable. That's where the term "only the strong survive" come in. You got a lot of people now that they real musically talented, but they stuck on doing things the old way. What up, Fresh? So they ain't trying to transition into really putting. Y'all remember back in the days, like a lot of people didn't even want to be on camera. Like, remember a camcorder used to be like, man, get that camera out my face. Like, you got people still like that, but they still want to be. Part of them don't want to be on camera and shit. Like, get the camera out my face, bro. But they want to be famous too, or they want to be like, no, you got to know how to transition. You got to know how to adapt. You know what I mean? So that's part of just everything. What you finna really get out here? First of all, bro, you're not finna sell no CDs and shit because don't nobody got a fucking CD player. So if you can't adapt to learning how to upload videos and shit, like, bro, you're not gonna be able to make it. And that's just as far as like keeping up with technology, but a lot of it could be a pride issue too. I run into some producers, like I produce music and I got some artists I work with and everything like that. And I run into other producers and they haven't came to terms yet with the technological leap. Like basically they think they finna still charge people like $500 an hour, $400 an hour to go in their studio and use Fruity Loops. And they ain't even got, they using old fat booty Apple computers, like they ain't upgraded nothing. It's just the fact that they got that big soundboard, they got a big booth, and they like, man, we need to charge people for this aesthetic. But got people making albums in the closet. Migos, they recorded their first album in the closet. You know what I mean? Drake like that shit enough to hop on Versace. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. You gotta grind. You gotta learn to adapt. Then sometimes you gotta swallow your pride, cause a lot of times it be you versus you. Let me see what my homeboy Fresh said. He say on the real, it's always me versus me. We can be our own worst enemy. We can only slay that dragon once we identify and accept that about ourselves. Real talk, bro. A real shit. Yeah, sometimes you be your own worst enemy. You could be your own worst enemy, or you could just be the one holding your own self back. You know what I mean? Like, you might not even be against yourself. You might be so into yourself that you can't tell yourself shit. You know what I mean? Like, I done been there a lot of times. It sound crazy, but somebody gonna feel that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't even about being scared or nothing. It was about being stuck on like, man, I started this way, and how dare things not be go in accordance with what I accustom myself to. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere out there, some motherfucker still out there trying to break dance on a cardboard box and trying to do some graffiti, getting chased down by the cops with dogs after him because he want to bring back real hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like some shit like that. Like, bro, you got to keep up with the times. Find a way to take that real hip hop digital. Do some digital graffiti or street art, which a lot of that digital street art is dope. You know what I mean? But y'all know what I'm saying. You gotta adapt and shit, man. And that I always segue into my topics and shit. They kind of tie together. So that take me to my next topic, which is attention being the new currency, right? And which is another reason why I got into crossing over into videography and doing YouTube in addition to doing music and stuff like that, because what you want to do is like generate money. Any business you start, you need an overhead. You want low overhead, and you want to be able to reach as many people as you can and get that product out or that service out, but you want low overhead with whatever you starting with, right? Right or wrong, exactly. So what you want to do in this day and age is you want to get people interested in whatever you doing. And once you get that interest from people, that could be converted a number of different ways. You know what I mean? And I ain't talking about like, I'm not saying like taking advantage of no motherfuckers or no shit like that. Like, okay, I got people watching me and then I'm finna sell y'all some tummy tea or some shit like that. Nah, I ain't talking about no direct marketing shit. I'm talking about as far as like if you got you got interest, you got ideas and shit like that. You know how the niggas like Lil Baby and them be talking about some motion or being not having no motion. Like you gotta get some motion behind whatever it is you doing. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what Fresh said. He said, can't even jug the old equipment, right? Charging and can't jug the old equipment on my life. Jugging Apple too, charging 200 an hour and shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. No, you gotta adapt and shit. But yeah, so getting that, garnering that interest and stuff like that. Like now, the age that we living in, attention is what's really the thing that people are going after. But it's just like with anything, right? With money, like with the old currency, I'm saying attention is the new currency. But even with the old currency, people would do slimy, sleazy things to get it. You know what I'm saying? To get the old currency. So you know they'll do it to get the new currency and shit. You know what I'm saying? So you see people doing all type of shit to try to get attention out here for that reason, because they know once they get that attention, they feel like they could convert it into other shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is all well and true. You know what I mean? So with me, I'm taking that same concept but using it positively, which tie back to what I was saying, why I switched from to videography from only doing music. You know what I mean? When people hear my music, I want them to understand what the fuck I'm talking about and why the fuck I feel the way I feel. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like it's only natural. It's a logical progression. Um, And once you get that attention, you could pretty much do anything. And I'm not talking about me in general. I'm talking about just as a concept of attention being the currency. Think about it like this, how it tied to everything in this day and age, right? Think about a Bitcoin. Think about Dogecoin. Think about Ethereum. What make the value of the coin go up? The more people that know about it and buy into it. Like people think what's back in like, this what's back in the cryptocurrency, what's back in, you know what I'm saying? It's not backed by nothing. Yeah, it is backed by something. It's backed by how many people interested in it. That's strictly what it's backed by. So really with a cryptocurrency, it's strictly an attention-based currency. You know what I'm saying? Really converting what I'm talking about into a physical, actual, tangible concept. You know what I mean? So that shit right there should really, that's some game for y'all to really take and man, soak that shit up with some bread. You know what I'm saying? And really just get it good on the plate and just, you know what I'm saying? Because that's some real shit right there. You know what I mean? But that's where we at right now in this day and age. So a lot of times you gonna run into a lot of situations and shit where a situation could go sideways because it got potential to draw attention for somebody. I went to the not the gas station. I went to the liquor store the other day, right? And as I'm going in the liquor store, uh, a chick coming out that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? A little macho coming out that motherfucker, right? And so I walked past a van on my way in there. Man, I swear to God, this van was loaded down. I don't know how many kids was in there. It was a minivan. It wasn't no big van. It was a minivan. But I ain't see nothing but rows and rows of legs and hands and shit in the back. I seen somebody in the front. I don't know, it might have been two people in the front. The whole back row was filled up. The whole middle row was filled up. I'm talking about, man, that motherfucker was smoking. They was going. That wagon was rolling. And when I walked past it, I looked, and just my natural instinct, like I was like, damn, there's plenty of people in that damn van. I'm like, there's plenty of people in there and shit. Like I just said it, not to nobody in particular. You know what I'm saying? Here come you know what I'm saying? Um, macho friend Brandy Savage coming out the liquor store and shit. And she like she hear me, she looking at me all in my grill and shit, you know what I'm saying, as girls do. You know. Nah, she looking at me and shit, right? And so as she looking at me, I'm looking at her. I look over, I'm like, damn, there's plenty people in that van and shit. And I keep walking, right? And I guess it was an opportunity where she could have not said nothing because obviously I wasn't talking to her, right? But she took it as an opportunity to, you know, wanted to turn it into something because, like I said, attention is the new currency, right? So she proceeded to try to get loud with me and shit, like, so, we with the kids. I mean, I'm saying we can't be out with the kids. Like, here we go with some It's for the kids and all that. Wasn't nobody saying nothing about no kids, and you can't be out with the kids or none of that. Like, come on, man. So I'm like, man, look, I ain't even entertain the shit. She saying all that. I'm looking at her. I'm like, then I'm like, it is still a lot of people in that van though. And I just went into the liquor store like nobody don't got time for all that, dude. She thought she was finna make a scene with a dapper young charismatic, you know what I'm saying, energized, you know what I'm saying, young player and shit and get some attention cause she was greasy. She was fat, greasy, like, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't fat shaming or nothing. She might have been proud fat. So yeah, she was fat. Yeah, maybe she was proud, I hope. Cause she it sure looked like it. And you know what I'm saying, her fat greasy ass was trying to pick a fight with me and shit, you know what I mean? But you know, I had better things to do. I had to go in there, grab me some cigars, and I had to go get on some other shit. So yeah. But anyway, let's get to this last thing though, because we talking about the internet influence. You know what I'm saying? Things along that line, converting influence into other things. Influence being the new currency. Crossing over into learning how to get more, draw more attention to the things that you're doing that might revolve around not necessarily directly being on the internet and stuff like that or talking to people directly, but when people become familiar with you, they could get, you could get them more familiar with like different things that you do, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that. So on that note, I want to talk about this last thing because right now, as of right now, what's going on is the former president Donald Trump, orange ass dude, got his indictment unsealed, and I'm waiting to see. Soon as I hop off of here, I want to see what's in that indictment. So I'm waiting to see that shit. Even though I know it got a lot of redacted stuff on there, I'm still waiting to see what's in that motherfucker, right? And so I want to talk about all this unrest going on. You know what I'm saying? Not on our side, shit. It's good in the hood. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice sunny day. You know what I'm saying? But we just gonna call it in America. In America with 3 Ks, what's going on, right? As always, anything that happen these folks don't like, they quick to grab their gun and claim they defending their rights or they trying to defend their rights and all that. So a lot of things people was doing when Donald Trump was in office where, you know, it already was a civil war going on in a sense, but the civil war was between privilege and the law. Everybody wanted to say, "Oh, I could do whatever I want." Motherfucker got to the point where they was flat out just breaking the law, foreign laws, going overseas, breaking laws. The Secret Service was breaking the law, all type of stuff, and it was just like, "Oh, I'm with the president. Oh, I'm with the president." It turned into like they wanted to see if they could mix like criminality with executive privilege. You know what I mean? And they did. They got away with a lot of it. But since it reached a tipping point and not enough people was benefiting off of it, when you do something on a scale like that, you could only get away with committing high crimes, like white collar crimes and just high crimes on the international level, if you greasing some goddamn palms. They wasn't, not enough people was benefiting from Donald Trump crimes outside of Donald Trump himself.
Then it turned into his crimes not even being crimes for benefit, but just crimes for revenge and crimes because he wanted to do it to see if he could get away with it. Just a lot of trying his luck. You know what I'm saying? A lot of pissing contest type crimes and shit. So now what you got is you got a lot of them people being held accountable. And in our lifetime, we've never seen these people that's supposed to be these gun-toting Americans, especially white males, held accountable. And that's what's happening. So now, when shit changed, it's the concept of the end of the world. Plenty people's world that ended before. The Indians, they world ended. That shit over. All that hunting and clean water and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit ended once they want to have Thanksgiving and you know what I'm saying, be nice to the colonizers and stuff. They world ended. You know what I'm saying? Ancient Egypt, we had empires, we had pyramids, we had the first universities in the world, we had cities of gold where they would cover themselves in gold dust. But once we couldn't unite and we started all that infighting and that tribalism and stuff, the colonizers came in, divide and conquer, and they divided everything up and they conquered everything. In our world of being kings and queens of empires like Kush and Kemet ended, like our world ended. You know what I'm saying? Now look where we at. You know what I'm saying? Twerking for dollars. You know no, I'm just talking shit. Hey, I'm first generation over here, man. So I'm strong with my African roots. I got the Kenyan flag on me at all times and shit. But you too can get in touch with your African roots. Don't be ashamed of your shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you will find that, damn, I used to be somebody or I came from somewhere. But I digress. So all the stuff that you see going on right now, right? And it's all influenced by the internet, which tie into why I'm talking about this. So people think that with these mad people, they getting held accountable, their world is ended. It was a time where you couldn't be held. It was a time back in the days where a black person couldn't even look at you, or a non-white person, let's just say it like that. Particularly black people, we was placed on the other end of the spectrum specifically for a reason. But it was a time when you couldn't even look at a motherfucker wrong. You know what I'm saying? Thus the Emmett Till's thing, which his accusers still running around today. You know what I'm saying? Having tea and crumpets. You know what I'm saying? They talking about, ain't no gangster slide on George Zimmerman. Cornell West, you ain't slid on Emmett Till, accuser. What's dude name and shit? Van Jones, you ain't slid on Emmett Till's accuser and shit. She in the nursing home somewhere chilling. But nah, for real though, people think with all that unrest from all these people that never been held accountable, because they getting held accountable, it's gonna end up being some type of race war or something. Man, let me tell y'all why it's never gonna be no race war. I'm finna tell y'all why, because it's like this. All the fighting that people talk about doing when they talk about like a race war and stuff against black people, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. All these people you see always race war, race war. First of all, I put this, if you look at my thumbnail, I put up a cover of a book called Plan B, where it's half black and half white, and it say Plan B, and it got a big splash of blood in the middle. That was a good book about a racial uprising or whatever. Excuse me. That was a good book by Chester Himes about a racial uprising. But I put it in particular for a particular reason. That's this pineapple ginger right here. These mothers, they good, but yeah, that ginger will get you though. I put it for a particular reason. Chester Himes said something interesting. He said the white person in America only knows two reactions towards black people, two emotions towards black people. And he said it's fear and guilt. It's like a clock. Like 1 to 6 is like fear. 6 to 12 is like guilt. And he was like, it go fear, guilt, just like that. And when you think about it, so you will have people like, let's use the time when he was around, because he was a writer from like back in the, let's say 60s or 70s. You know what I mean? So let's just say in this time, for example, you would have like, you know, that was a time when Dr. Martin Luther King was around, and all people wanted back then was basic civil rights. They wasn't asking for nothing special. They was just saying like, man, can we at least, you know, walk down the street without y'all, you know what I'm saying, pissing on us and throwing rocks at us or just assaulting us. Like, we just want basic human rights. We don't want too much. We don't even want to be full citizens. We just want to be acknowledged as human. And it was a fight for that shit. And they wasn't fighting phantoms and ghosts. They was fighting America. They was fighting your average American citizen. Some of your white friends, it was their mothers and grandmothers. They hated Dr. King. You know what I'm saying? They was against, he was the first woke Black Lives Matter dude, was Dr. King trying to say Black Lives Matter. He was non-violent. They wanted to march, go to school. There wasn't no gangs in Chicago. None of that shit. Man, they hated dude ass. You know what I'm saying? They ain't care about dude being non-violent or none of that shit. That shit ain't matter. It was the fear of black people self-realizing and gaining any type of power. It was just, that's all they knew. What would happen if they got first Martin Luther King? He's getting too big. He's getting too many of them together. Now they want this, they want that. Cause America, racism really is kind of a myth, right? It's a loosely used term because it's more like a racial obsession to the point of like a person like doing something crazy and shit. That's really what racism is. And I'll explain that further in a second, right? But it's one of those things to where like they wanted people to stay in their place. So what did they do out of fear? They killed Dr. Martin Luther King, right? And then what? Guilt. Then came the guilt cycle. Oh, we're so sorry. And then they passed the civil rights, and you know, they want to march with people and they want to do all that. And you know what? We didn't accept Dr. King, but you know what? We'll accept Jesse Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like they had a whole little paradigm for us to, you know what I'm saying, go through the guilt cycle. And then once you start the guilt lead them to back off of you. But then you start to realizing too much. You start to self-identifying too much. Black hairstyles coming back. First, they wanted to label it Ebonics, the way we talk. But now everybody want to talk this way. We just getting too much cultural influence. And so now we back on the fear cycle. They back scared again. So now you got all this culture war and everything like that, right? But overall, it'll never be a race war or nothing like that. And like I said, I'm gonna tell y'all why. In this social media era, everything is based on influence. You can have money, but you still might not be influential. I'll give you an example. Who do you think kids remember more of anything they say or anything they said? Mitch McConnell or NBA Youngboy? You know what I mean? Like, we in an era now where politicians want to be rappers. Matt Gaetz dropping rap songs. They talking about stuff slap. Everybody, like, our culture is American culture. Rap and hip hop is the new rock and pop. You know what I mean? They don't hate us. They really just obsessed over us. You know what I'm saying? You hate roaches. You hate shit like that. When you hate roaches, you don't sit up talking about roaches all the time, man. You know what I hate? Man, I hate them roaches, man. Like, just out of nowhere. You don't try to dress like roaches. You don't try to act like roaches. You don't try to, all the stuff you hate, you don't constantly focus on. You avoid it. You know what I mean? And for us, we grew up when you was, as a black person, you couldn't just hate no white people. And I had to explain that to a white person who tried to equivocate. Like, they always try to do this equivalency thing. Like, well, they do it on this side. I even got, that's kind of how, I got a friend kind of like that. He try and just think like everything is all the same on both. If it's two sides of an issue, everything got to be the same on both sides. You know what I'm saying? So I explained to one of my white friends why black people can't just be racist and just hate white people like that. Because, like, you can grow up white and don't be around no black people. You can never have a black friend. You could never have been in a black person's house. You could never have had a black teacher, a black doctor, nothing like that. Now, growing up black, You could never, and you could watch TV shows and you see white people on there. You could watch commercials and see white people on there. You could really disassociate yourself with black people, and the only run-ins you will have with them a lot of times is if it's something negative, because that's the way America is structured, right? So on our side and on a minority side, not just black people, Mexicans, Asians, whatever, you can't do that with white people. Your doctor's gonna be white, your lawyer's gonna be white, your first basketball coach is gonna be white, the superheroes you watch as a kid are gonna be white. You know what I'm saying? The princesses that you see as a little girl, they're gonna be white. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just inherently have this hatred towards white people. You have more of a inherent liking towards them or wanting to be liked by them than you do to hate them or want to start a conflict with them. You know what I mean? And that's why they get that kind of privilege anywhere they go in the world. You know what I mean? So as long as they enjoy that and they want everybody to stay in their place, and a lot of people feel like they are comfortable staying in their place and doing shit like that, ain't gonna never be no type of race war or nothing like that. And then they can't, what you can't beat, you will just join. You know what I'm saying? You see they would talk about like girls having big ghetto booties and shit, but then look at the Kardashians. They couldn't beat them booties, so they joined them booties. You know what I'm saying? Talk about big lips and all that, but what they doing? Getting lip fillers. Look at white dudes getting their haircuts now. I call them the 2.0 white dudes. Like, all white dudes get fades now. They get faded up on the side like this. They don't get that bowl cut, that Beatles every day, turn. They don't get that haircut no more. You know what I'm saying? They getting like a real cut at the shop type shit. They don't hate us. They love us. They love us, but they feel guilty about what they did to us. So like, it's like that guilt lead to fear. And then it had them acting crazy and shit, wondering how we gonna act. But we pretty much over all that shit. We busy doing us and knowing that, man, in this day and age, even though we don't got the power in the government and all that, we got the influence. I explained that to my guy the other day, how nature always seek balance, and the more power they have taken from us, the more God has given us influence. And that's why you have kids in the suburbs come home to a full meal every day, 3 cars in the garage, wishing they could be drill rappers in the ghetto, because that influence we got is just that strong. You got people halfway around the world in like New Zealand trying to be like rappers and drill rappers and stuff like that. Man, take your ass home, nigga, and eat a badunkadunk or whatever y'all eat over there, nigga, Deutsch or whatever y'all eating, man, and enjoy life on the New Zealand, in the New Zealand pasture. But no, our culture is that powerful. You know what I'm saying? That we getting a lot of that. We giving a lot of that off, and as they don't know where to turn, and you know, the older races die off, and culture just kind of, America adapts black culture more as the culture. Man, we ain't going no damn where. Ain't finna be no race war and shit. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna never happen like that. Cause man, America need us. What they gonna do without us? You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't going nowhere. And then us, like I said, we over it. We ain't trying to get, like they think, like the fear part make them think we want some type of revenge or something for like slavery or something like that. You know what I mean? We just want to be left alone to grind. We want to be able to show we great. Like, our world is its own world. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are highly competitive against each other, and we got a lot we still got to work out from past trauma we've been through as a people. And we working it out. We doing shit like this. We talking just like what I'm doing now. This, somebody somewhere gonna see this shit and they gonna get an understanding of, you know what I'm saying, a modern black man that got something that feel this way, as opposed to like just putting this street nigga hat on. I told my guy about that yesterday. You know what I'm saying? My hair all wild and shit. I told my guy about that yesterday and shit, right? About the street nigga hat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Motherfucker be knowing they capable of doing more, but they just put that hat on their head and shit. Like, man, I'm just a street nigga, dog. Cause like, you'll have friends, like I had white friends, and you know, they would come around here and I would be their only black friend or whatever, and they see I'm cool and they think, oh, you know, he funny and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's all smooth and everything. But then also, obviously, they know, nigga, I'm off the east side. I'm from Buffalo County, you know what I mean? So they already like, oh shit, is it gonna be? But they come down here and see, it ain't like everybody just running around with big chains on. Like it ain't nothing like they are taught. Like basically, it's some black people that live in white people heads. And those are the black people that really cause you the problems as a normal just person with black skin. It's the black people that live in their heads that's twerking with chains on and babies crying and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I had some friends that they would come down here, and when they don't see nothing going on and ain't nothing ghetto going on, they kind of feel let down. And that shit to me is kind of offensive. It's like, what the fuck is you hoping to see and shit? And it been times where I felt like when I would go around their white friends and stuff like that, they would want me to do some ghetto shit or hop on some type of ghetto shit, or they would allude to us being on some yo hood shit, because I think that otherwise they friends will be thinking like, what the fuck are you doing hanging out with a regular black guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's fucking crazy. You got to think about that shit, right? But nah, I ain't gonna be no race war, man, or nothing like that. So relax, people, relax. We gonna be around. You know what I'm saying? Our voices gonna get louder. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be able to be prouder. You know what I'm saying? You gotta turn that cheese into some chowder. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's what we doing, you know? So want to do that one for today, man. I appreciate y'all watching and everything. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Coming back next week. Probably make a couple changes. I'm thinking about like doing something with adding a little bit more music, maybe add an intro. A nice little intro. I wanted to do like an actual graphic intro. Like I told y'all, soon I'm gonna be doing my my script, like not scripted, but like, yeah, kind of scripted videos and edited videos and stuff. So I'm just working, man. I'm scaling my shit up, man. Shout out to my boy Marcus at Mac Buddy Gaming. You know what I'm saying? That's my homie. Check him out, Mac Buddy Gaming. Subscribe over there on YouTube and Twitch. Man, shout out to my other homeboy Adam over at Below the Belt Boxing, a broadcast. Like and subscribe over there to that Facebook, Below the Belt on Facebook, Below the Belt on YouTube, and definitely don't forget, like and subscribe if you haven't already to Mac World Media. You know, we a fresh channel, but man, we got some shit coming for y'all. We got some collabs with some other creators coming. We got some good music coming for y'all. We got some comedy coming for y'all, man. I might bring some badass hoes up on this plug or something. We'll see. We'll see what's going on, man. We'll see how we feel, man, how it play out. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. Enjoy y'all weekend.